All right, we are live, Neil. In case you were wondering, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of Watch What Now. It is the podcast where we discuss the good, the bad, and everything in between. But it is also on occasion my wonderful co-host's slow baby step journey into I guess you would say, the genre of horror movies. Speaking of co-host, I am Eric from Hey Internet Eric here, and with me is my wonderful co-host and someone I consider a good friend. She's an AVN Hall of Famer, a former radio show host, and a woman who probably should have gone to the yoga retreat instead of watching and discussing tonight's subject, Miss Melissa Hill. Melissa, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm good. As you can see, I have I don't know if you can see, but yes, you can see. I have a friend here, Posey, my foster dog. So we'll see how tonight goes because all four dogs are running wild in the house.
You had how many this weekend? 5, 6, 7?
Well, counting my four. So I had 3 separate overnights, but two of the overnights overlapped. Well, actually, whatever. So so I've had 7, but I have like 3 stops. So I have to go, and they're all like 20 to 30 minutes in between each one. And I go let the dogs out, feed them. Some I give medication to. I have to walk them. And sometimes they want to go for a longer walk than whatever, and spend time with them, give them belly rubs, butt scratches, ear scratches, kisses on the nose, all that other stuff. So last night I, after doing, so basically 6 stops, but 2 of them wanted overnight. So I spent like 11 p.m. I stayed with one dog until 4 a.m. And then, napped a little bit because I was like bloodshot, and then went to the other overnight, and I got there at 4:30 a.m. It's still dark out, and stayed there until like 11 a.m. and then I come back home, give my dogs their breakfast. And so now that there's 4 dogs here, they kind of like, I don't feel as guilty as when I just had Panda. I'd leave her, if I left her alone, like it felt really terrible. And it's a bigger house. I can leave the back door open. They go in and out. And surprisingly, like the past couple of days where I've actually left Posey out, not in her crate, I come home and like they're just chill. They're so mellow, and I'm like, what? I mean, now I don't know what they do when I'm not here, because I'm determined I'm not going to set up a dog security camera because the house is so old, and I don't want to see any extra hocus pocus taking place. Because last week, because I was, I'm so now into this horror film thing, I'm like, let's watch a bunch of paranormal stuff back to back all weekend. Big mistake. So like now when I do my overnights, I have to leave the light on or the stereo on, and I always make sure there's a dog with me to protect me, which is bad because one of the dogs has so much anxiety. I have to give her medication like 4 times a day. So using her as my security blanket is kind of it's Ginger, the one that I was with tonight when I was watching the movie. Anyway, long answer to your short question, and there they go. So.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? We've been live for 4 minutes. They were quiet for the first 4, so I think that's a new record for us. So before we get to tonight's subject, first off, like I've always said, we appreciate everybody in the chat. There's the usual Pap's here, Patrick was here, Anthony's here, Neil's here. Thank you, Neil. We're growing. Like I said, we're slowly growing, and I want to give a shout out because I didn't know you can actually do this on Spotify. We actually got a comment on our Return of the Living Dead video, or excuse me, the audio of our Return of the Living Dead episode. And it's from a buddy of mine. He goes by the name Ginger Ninja. And he commented on our episode. He said, what an absolute joy to hear someone new discovering the world of one of my favorite films. Looking at the film scene by scene, analyzing it, but having fun with it. Great stuff. So
thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you to that person.
Yeah. it seems like little stuff to maybe to other people, but just, I think to you and me, it's pretty cool that it shows that people are enjoying what we're doing. You know what I mean? It kind of gives us that little oomph that, okay, we're not just watching mostly hard to watch, movies and discussing, and people actually do enjoy it. So thank you, Ginger Ninja. We really appreciate that.
All right, quick question. Is that like really loud?
Not really. Not as loud as it's been before. I don't think so.
Because all 4 of them are going at it right now. Wait, 3 of them. One's hiding.
No, I can hear it, but it's not. It's been a lot louder before. I don't think it's distracting to me.
Okay. All right.
All right. So that's pretty cool to me. Someone that actually took the time to prove that they're listening and sent us a positive comment. So that was cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So thank you to, what was their name?
Jinja, because he's a redhead. Ninja.
Ginger Ninja. That's funny because Ginger, I'm calling her Gingy, also redhead. Hold on a second. Hey, you guys, knock it off.
Damn kids.
It's the little one. The littlest one she's hiding in her little area in a different room, barking at all the other ones, at the other 2 that are playing over here. So anyway. Okay.
They're sending their thanks to Ginger Ninja as well. How about that?
Ginger Ninja. Thank you, Ginger Ninja.
So what else do I got? Yeah. So we're growing in social media, Melissa. We're almost at 100 on Facebook for the Facebook page. So we're at 95. So anyone that actually is on social media, share us out. It's just like a little milestone for us. We're just 2 friends having fun, shooting the shit for every couple of weeks, but it's cool seeing that people are enjoying the show.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah, it makes me, look forward to it even more.
Same here.
So it's kind of, and when I had my other podcast before, it was really therapeutic. From it was once a week, but anyway, sorry, rambling. I got 2 beautiful huskies with gorgeous eyes staring at me right now. Hi, babies. They've become the bosom buddies, these 2. One's Posey. She's my foster, so it's gonna be difficult giving her up. But anyway, okay.
No, you're fine. And you said 2 pairs of to eyes. I figured it wasn't Teddy in the background. So
right. No, he has eyes. They're just really deep set. You can't see them.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just playing because he acts. He seems like he has eyes, and sometimes when you look at him, like you swear there's eyeballs there. Even though his eyelids are,
sewn shut.
Sewn shut, but now they're permanently shut. They've grown together. And so sometimes when you just stare at him straight on, because of the color of his fur, it looks like there's eyes there. You swear that there's eyes there. They're just really, really far back.
It's like one of those magic eye tests. You know what I mean? Those books that we used to look at. Let's see here. What we got? We got AI Says What, Melissa. We are ready for AI Says What on Chopping Mall. That was episode, good Lord. Oh, man. 9, 8, 9, something like that. And now we're on 22. So if anyone is new, AI Says What is basically a little thing we decided to have where AI gives the summary of previous episodes, and sometimes they're really, really funny. Like when we get to Leprechaun, that one was really good. But we are talking about Chopping Mall, and AI Says What. This is the 8th episode, of the podcast Watch What Now, where Eric and Melissa watch and discuss the 1986 cult horror film Chopping Mall. Film centers around a group of young mall employees who stay after hours for a party, only to be hunted by a trio of malfunctioning high-tech security robots. Key discussion points from the podcast: film overview. The host discussed the movie's thin plot, its cheesy 80s aesthetic, and its questionable security technology, such as robots equipped with lasers and explosives. They note the film was originally entitled Killbots before rebranded as Chopping Mall. The character dynamics. The hosts identify the main characters, including Susie, played by Scream Queen Barbara Crampton, and the rest of the group and share their humorous observation on the characters' questionable decision-making throughout the night. Good Lord. Memorable scenes. The hosts react to the gratuitous nature of the film, including the locker room scenes and the overall low budget feel. They discuss the pet shop sequence, noting it a highlight of tension involving animals, and including snakes and spiders. They break down the film's climax, including remember this one. The film's climax. Well, good thing you said climax, because it says including the miracle shot of a propane tank and the final confrontation. Production context, the hosts speculate on the film's origin, mentioning Jim Wynorski and the fact that it failed to perform on its initial release. At the end of the episodes, the hosts announced that their next film will be the Spanish horror movie Wreck, where they will be watching for a future episode. That was a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what AI says about that one.
Yeah. Well, I also can't wait to hear what AI says about this one, Melissa, because you picked, kind of, in a roundabout way, tonight's subject because it starred Jason Alexander. Tonight we're discussing 1981's The Burning. Now, this was a miracle. Melissa actually finished watching the movie before I did. So I was very impressed. She had time to get back home and take care of the kids and everything. Melissa, initial thoughts with The Burning before we get into it, going from A to Z.
Well, really quick, earlier when I posted about The Burning, someone said it sounds like a drug hangover, and I was like, what? And I kept thinking about it all day, until I repeated the title in my head, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. My overall impression of the film was, when is the action gonna start? Like,
yep.
And the funny thing is that I think because it was such a slow starting film, I think I took more notes than I usually do. But it could also be because I wasn't with 4 dogs that were preventing me from watching the movie. I was with only 1 dog. But I was like, 6 pages.
Oh my God. I don't think you've ever had 6 pages.
Usually it's in like a notebook.
No spoilers. This movie isn't worth 6 pages of notes.
I know.
This movie. Oh my fucking God.
It was like I was literally writing the description of everything that was happening.
Okay, well, Jesus. Oh, here, yeah, because I was looking through our little text. You texted me, I've already got 2 pages of notes and only 1 person has been killed so far. What's the fucking holdup? What's the holdup? So, basic plot, I guess you would say, well, we'll just get into it. We're talking about The Burning, and we start at Camp Blackfoot. And we have a group of, I don't want to say kids, because everyone in this movie kind of teens, kind of like when we did My Bloody Valentine. They're supposed to be like right out of high school or college or whatever, and they look like they're in their 30s. Like Jason Alexander's in this movie, and he looks like he's pushing, 32, 35 years old. And he has hair, but that's just.
Yeah, no, funny that you mentioned that, because I was curious. So I asked my phone, because I don't want her to start talking. I asked my phone how old Jason Alexander was in 1981. And my phone answered back that he was 22. That he was 22 in the film, and that apparently, like, he was already around that time on Broadway playing old men.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it made me think of Porky's as far as the age goes, because once again, you don't need teenagers to portray teenagers, especially if they're going to be doing naughty business.
Right.
It's part of acting. Suspend your disbelief. So, but I was thinking about the actual kids that were in the film, like when they walk through the mess hall. Yeah. Like all those kids that were there, probably, background actors or whatever, they looked like they were having a lot of fun having these dudes walk in and high five them and stealing food off their plate and stuff like that. Anyway.
So we start at Camp Blackfoot, and we have campers, teens, whatever you want to say, and they're plotting against Cropsy. Cropsy is the groundskeeper, and apparently he's just this mean old drunk that has assaulted some of the teens physically, mentally, that type of stuff. I think he beat up one of them, and they want to just play a practical joke on him, type of thing. And what they do is, while he's asleep in his cabin, they have this box, and one kid walks in, puts the box on Cropsy's table by his window, and he's getting matches out of his pocket, lights them, puts them in the box, and then he pulls something out. We don't see what it is. He pulls something out and he puts it on the table. Oh my God. And then he leaves, and then they all go out the window and they're banging and yelling. They want Cropsy to wake up. And it's a fucking skull with lights in the eye sockets and the nose. And my first thought is, I've seen this movie before, but my first thought is, where did they get the skull? And that's what I'm worrying. Did they dig it up somewhere? Did they make it in arts and crafts at the fucking camp? What?
Right, exactly. So my whole thing was like, what's in the box already? Show us, and I'm thinking, well, because I know there's an accident and they're lighting something on fire, so I'm thinking it's a firework or a firecracker or whatever. Yes, Posey has her opinions about it.
Yep. Probably the same as ours.
Anyway, so I said, Billy has a human skull that looks like it was dug up from a graveyard with worms crawling out, and lights a candle in it. Anyway, and then Cropsy wakes up, knocks on the bed, everything goes up in flames, and insanity ensues.
Yeah, the Cropsy gets scared, naturally. You wake up and you have someone's fucking human skull in your face. He knocks it, he swats at it, and it falls on the bed where he was laying, and his legs are on fire. And then he is trying to, pat the fire out. He's screaming. The kids are freaking out. And then he just happens to knock the skull over onto a blanket that just happened to have a can of gasoline, because everyone fucking sleeps with a can of gasoline next to their bed. Right. And it ignites Cropsy like a full burn right there. And he's running out of the cabin, and he jumps into the lake basically to put himself out. Now, here's my problem with this movie here. The effects were done by a man named Tom Savini. Melissa, Tom Savini was the guy that did the effects for like the original Dawn of the Dead, the original Friday the 13th. So he knows gore, and he knows how things look, because he was also like a combat photographer in Vietnam. So he knows how things look. My problem is, while this movie is known for the gore, you could still kind of see some of the problems, because as much as I loved this fire stunt, I don't know if you noticed, but did you notice you could see the stuntman's gloves, and he was literally wearing a fire helmet when he was on fire, when Cropsy was running around?
Yes, I saw it. But I guess we have to remember this is 1981. Yeah. And things, they didn't have CG, was it
CGI,
AI,
special effects, visual effects.
Yeah, there's so many abbreviations these days. I can't keep them straight. But yeah, so special effects were different. They were more, there was more stunt stuff as opposed to nowadays where it's computer stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, I could see I could actually see his boots too.
Yeah. So a lot of these effects, like I know I love Tom Savini. I got 2 of his books over here. I love him to death, but a lot of these effects for me are going to have like a little asterisk next to it. So we jump ahead 1 week. Cropsy has been in the hospital for a week, and we have this scene where 2 orderlies are walking down. We have one that's been there for 10 years, and we have the new guy, and the orderly that's been on the clock for a long time. He says he wants to show the new guy Cropsy and what he looks like. He literally calls him a fucking Big Mac overdone. You know what I mean? He says, you'll never want to work here again after seeing him. And we don't get to see Cropsy's face, but what happens is, as he pulls the blanket away to show the new guy, we do see Cropsy's arm reach out and grabs the orderly. And I'll admit the effects of the burn on the arm were pretty brutal to watch, to look at, in my opinion. They looked very
pretty realistic.
They looked pretty realistic, and I think that's where Savini's history of being a combat photographer in the Vietnam War came into full effect, and that makeup job looked really good and really gross.
Right. So I'm reading the comments here, and my chunky
Jordy. That's Gina. Yep, that's Gina.
I was gonna say, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm like, Fjord?
Oh Lord, here we go.
my chunky Swedish island? What? Okay, people say this is a Friday ripoff, but it was actually filming at the same time after production. Or it was written. Was it written at the same time?
People say this is a Friday. Here, I'll put it up here for you. How about this? You ain't got your glasses on. People say this is a Friday ripoff, meaning Friday the 13th, but it was actually filming at the same time after production hell. So yes, this came out the same year as Friday the 13th Part 2.
Right, but in Hollywood, you can't keep a secret. So, I mean, there's lots of films that seem to. Remember when there was Ants, and then there was A Bug's Life? Like they kind of came out at the same time. Yeah. And so who knows if it's a ripoff? But you some people, like you tell one person an idea, and maybe they're not listening, and then one day they think it's their idea.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I'm not surprised that it seemed like, to me, it seemed like it was Halloween, like in one of the kill scenes. Won't say because we are not there yet. But
yeah, we don't want to spoil something from fucking 1981. So
one of the kill scenes, had the guy with the scissors pinned up against the tree, which reminded me of the kitchen knife pinned up against the kitchen cabinet in Halloween. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I've seen this now in so many of these films that we've discussed. I can't even remember how many times. But I do remember the first time I ever saw something like that was in Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, the intern was telling the future doctor, it was kind of weird because he's like, well, I've been here 10 years and I've seen everything. You're brand new. You've never seen anything like this, and he was like, take a look. There should have been a drinking game for how many times the guy said, take a look, just take a look. That kind of drove me nuts. But and then we jumped to 5 years later.
Yep.
And as now, this part didn't make sense to me because I was like, are they in San Francisco? Because it just shows like a montage of strip clubs, sex clubs, the seedy part of a city. So to me, I was like, oh, they must be in San Francisco. And then I thought, well, what summer camp is near San Francisco? Well, it was New York.
Yeah.
So there's a montage of all of this stuff going by while we're also simultaneously hearing audio from the doctors that Cropsy had been seeing over the past 5 years. And basically from the audio, from the narrative, we hear that all the skin grafts that they tried doing on him never took. They didn't properly take. So he was just going to have to learn to adjust and live with how he is.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it couldn't be. I mean, of course it could be bad, but my thinking was that, okay, so he kind of looks like the arm all over. I was wrong.
Oh yeah. And it also, he was just saying, don't let your anger, overtake you, this was just a prank, blah, blah, blah. And it just, to me, it was just like, okay, well, we've done all we can. See you later. They're just kicking him out of the door. And then the first thing I think of, because after you've been in, the burn ward for 5 years, the first thing you want to do is go get a prostitute. You know what I mean?
Perhaps, I guess, but I was thinking, I'm like, what does a prostitute have to do with the summer taking revenge? Because we already know the plot of the movie is an accident happens and a guy seeks revenge on teenagers.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Very simple.
Summer campers, you know, and then we find out, and then he's walking through the seedy part of New York City and gets a prostitute. And I mean, yeah, that part didn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Except for maybe he was practicing for future, like, because he never had sex with her, because even though he turned off the light, the lightning storm. Oh my God,
Yeah.
please, these dogs.
They're fine. I don't think it's that loud.
Oh, okay, you're not here.
That's true.
Okay. You know, so even though he turned off the light, I was more concerned like flesh was going to start falling off of him or something. Like, you know, but anyway, so she gets a glimpse of him, and all we see, you know, we see her reaction, and she's just like, oh no, God, please don't do this, don't do this, just please leave. And then he reaches for some sewing shears, and he stabs her first. He starts choking her. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. He starts choking her, then he stabs her, and then he pushes her out the window. Or we don't if she went all the way out the window, but regardless,
just as lightning strikes, you know, because you know we have to you know talk about how, you know, that's scary. And I wrote down, because you know, you talked about, you know, let's get a move on basically when you were almost halfway through. I wrote down the first kill happens at 12 minutes in. Now, no spoilers, you know, of who dies when, but I think I wrote, where did I write it down? The next person dies, I think it was like 45 minutes in or something like that.
I was going to say, it was like around a little over halfway through the film, maybe, and then nothing again for a really long time. And I was like, okay, so this is a slasher film, and 2 people have died.
Yeah, this is a slasher film with a lot of padding, you know, until we finally get to the raft. So after he has his fun with the prostitute, we are now at Camp Stonewater, and we are meeting the reason why you picked this film, Melissa. We are meeting Jason Alexander, Fisher Stevens, the actor who played Rat in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and a bunch of other people. And this is where you texted me and you said, now I'm at a slow motion softball game. And that's where I reminded you that, well, it makes sense as this movie was written by Harvey Weinstein. So yeah, you have lots of slow motion women running the bases, braless. You have lots of close up on the butts and everything. And that explains a lot. And in hindsight.
Yeah. In hindsight, so when the title sequence came on and it said a Miramax film, I was like, oh, Miramax. I haven't heard from them in a long time. I wonder whatever happened to Miramax.
Yeah.
And then,
well, sit down, Melissa. We have a story to tell you.
And then you're like, you bring up Harvey Weinstein, and I was like, oh, and you know, and I thought to myself, well, if I would have known ahead of time this is a Harvey Weinstein film, I probably wouldn't have chosen it. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, Camp Stone. Now all 3 of these guys, the first 3 from Jason Alexander, Rat, and then the next guy I recognize, but the other one on the end I don't.
I did not recognize him either. We recognized the lead female counselor. She was in a lot of TV, and she was in the Van Damme movie Kickboxer, or not Kickboxer, but Bloodsport. And then we have Holly Hunter is literally in this movie. Blink and you miss her. She's probably got like 2 minutes of screen time and like yells in a couple scenes, but that's it. So
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of recognizable faces. I mistakenly identified.
I think her name was Leah Ayers. I think her name was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mistakenly identified her as Mrs. RFK Jr.
Yeah.
His name, like you could tell, I'm getting brain fog. I can't remember anybody's names anymore, but I know Neil loves her.
That tone of voice, we'll see if that's true or not. So they're playing softball, and the young girl her name is Tiger, of all things. She has to go get the foul ball, and that's where we see Cropsy is leering over all the girls like Harvey Weinstein would. and she takes a good, 2-3 minutes, pats the ground a dozen times to try to find the ball, finds it, and gets away safely. So,
just
but now
in a nick of time as the garden shears were being raised up.
Yep. So we definitely are now. Cropsy's now in the area, so he somehow hoofed it from the seedy side of town back to camp. And then we have Sally in the shower, because if we didn't have enough gratuitous stuff from Weinstein, we have Sally in the shower, and we have Alfred, who was the actor who played Rat. He's doing his best peeping Tom on her.
Rat from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right?
Yeah.
Did we already say Fast Times? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, wait a second. Oh no, wait, I got. Okay. So I told you I wrote absolutely everything. So I
Go ahead.
Campers in dining hall. Campers in dining hall. That's it. And then cut to the girls' cabin next morning. Sally walks over to the girls' shower.
Yep.
Alfred plays peeping Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And scares her. Of course, we're all thinking she's the next one to be slashed. But I was like, well, she's a little too close to the cabins and everybody would hear. And that would kind of like be the end of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Because everybody would run away, and where's the fun in that? But about the Harvey Weinstein thing, after you mentioned that he's the one that wrote this, I started thinking, I wonder if this was the beginning of like seeing things take place on film, if that was the beginning of his, what do you call it? Brain, his whatever, his sick brain. That's all I can think of, sick brain.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and like then real life imitated art, or was it the art that was imitating what was really happening in his head, or real life?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what he was doing at that time, but that was a long time ago. Okay, yeah, cut to Alfred plays peeping Tom, and which was kind of weird, when she comes out of the shower and she's crying and everything like that. And I was like, these girls were literally like the night before talking about who they're going to have sex with or who they're going to make out with. And, but then I didn't realize Alfred was such a creep. And I don't know, like part of me was just like, well, wait a second. You guys were just talking about sex and all that other stuff. Wouldn't you laugh it off? But hey, but I guess it would be kind of creepy since he's a creep.
And then his reasoning was weird too, because that's why I could never get behind. Like, okay, fine, he wants to peep at an attractive girl taking a shower, whatever. Say what you want, but his reasoning when he was being talked, when Todd, the head male counselor, I guess, was talking to him, Alfred said, he just wanted to scare her. You know what I mean? Well, you did a fucking good job, and he wanted to scare her because she's always getting picked on by her boyfriend Glazer. I don't know what type of name. It's got to be his last name. But that was his reasoning for being a peep, was because he wanted to scare her because her boyfriend and everyone else picks on him. So
really quick, funny comment.
Yeah, please.
Funny comment in the chat. When you're the assistant to the assistant manager of the movie theater.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was kind of like during the film. I was kind of wondering, like, okay, so are we going to really find out that it's been Alfred this whole time? Because, like, he's stuck in creep mode a little bit too much. They said he wanted to get back. I called him, Glazer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, after realizing Harvey Weinstein wrote the film, Glazer to me was kind of
gross. Sounds kind of gross. Yeah.
Sounds, like a glazed donut.
Watch what now? The show for kids.
Where they talk about donuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. Alfred has no friends and is creepy. Kids smoking. Okay, and here's my pet peeve in the scene. When Sally goes back to the cabin and all the other girls are consoling her, like we kind of touched on this in what film was it? Where the guy with the box,
Hellraiser.
Pinhead. Hellraiser. Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit where, Hellraiser, he was basically a skeleton with some flesh and whatever, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, Frank. Yep.
The same thing. I have the same feeling about a freshly showered individual who just washed their hair and everyone's standing around them smoking cigarettes. I'm like, she hasn't even dried her hair yet. Like, back then it was, gee, your hair smells terrific. That kind of, thing. And that was my pet. That was, what chaps my hide in that scene right there.
Grinds your gears.
Grinds my gears. Yes. Kids smoking right after taking a shower. Ew. All that clean smell ruined. That was my note on that.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So Glazer, or I also started calling him Jizzer. Again, show for kids. So Jizzer harasses Alfred after spying on Sally. Todd comes to the rescue. Now, it was weird because you didn't know if, like, at this point, if Todd, well, I didn't, if Todd was a good guy or a bad guy. I mean, because they didn't really make it clear to me that he was a counselor. I've never been to summer camp.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was like, is Todd a bully? Then I realized, oh, he's in charge. Okay. So Todd comes to the rescue. Oh, that's right. Here's what I wrote. Dave, aka Jason Alexander, age 22 in real life, IRL, and his group of friends. So they come walking out onto the dock. The girls are out on one dock. The guys are on another dock. And Jizzer Jizzer is, just dives into the water and goes over to harass the girls. And of course, the girls don't want to go swimming because they don't want to get their hair wet.
And this was after Jizzer pushed Alfred into the water because he didn't want to go swimming because he was scared of the water. That's
right. You know what? But that's how my dad taught me. Throw me in. He threw me in. Not saying that's what you should do, but that's what my dad did. Anyway, so yeah, and again, I'm like Alfred is the outcast. He's also kind of creepy, and I was really surprised that he had such a big support system. Because if he was such an outcast, like I expected him to just be a little bit more creepy. To me, he was more of like a pervert.
Yeah.
He was pervy. He was a peeping Tom. Like, he was always following Jizzer and spying on him and Sally when Sally was being Weinsteined by Jizzer.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So I was like, again, like, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. No, it's your show. Go ahead, talk.
No, it's our show. To keep going on, Jizzer is macking on the ladies, and a lot of this movie has padding, as we've talked about on this podcast before, because now they want to get revenge on Jizzer. So what is his name? Woodstock. Woodstock is Fisher Stevens. And I couldn't help thinking every time they called him Woodstock, I was kept thinking of the little yellow bird from the Peanuts cartoon, Snoopy and Woodstock.
I always thought of the town called Woodstock.
Yeah, or the hippie music festival.
Well, because there's a Woodstock in Vermont. So I just okay. Town in Vermont.
So what do they decide to do? Oh, let's get them back. So they have like this little pea shooter type of gun or whatever. It shoots BB. It's like a little BB gun. So we're going to embarrass him by shooting him in the ass in front of the girls. And then we're all going to moon him because that'll show him. You know what I mean? And then one of the girls pushes him in the lake. Again.
So Porky's. It was so Porky's. The last thing I wanted to see was Jason Alexander's hairy butthole. Like, that was just really uncalled for. I did not need to see that.
Hey,
at all.
Y'all got to start somewhere. Okay, an actor's got to act, and sometimes he's got to show his ass.
But I was proud of whatever actor refused, because there was 4 guys and only 3 of them.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think Alfred showed his butt. I think he was smart. He didn't do it. And then after that, we cut to another scene of padding where what is his name? Jason Alexander, his character. I can't think. Dave. He shows up and he's got Playboys and penthouses for everybody, and he's got a box or a bag of condoms for Jizzer, but because for $5, but Jizzer is ungrateful because they're unlubricated. So that's it. So we got a lot of scenes about that, a couple masturbation jokes from Dave, and then Alfred happens to see Cropsy outside the window, and of course, no one believes him because he's the weirdo. Because he's the weirdo always making up shit.
Right. And then let's see. I got Todd does his rounds, takes boys to the dining hall. Jizzer invites Sally to ride. Invites Sally to ride in his canoe the next day during the 3-day canoe trip. So the upperclassmen of this summer camp get to go on a 3-day canoe trip when I guess the younger ones are heading home. I think
they're still there because you still have like the head counselor, like the one that's above Michelle and Todd. He's still there because because Michelle ends up going back and telling him everything that happens by the end of the movie. But we also, before we go on the canoe trip, we had a long scene where nothing happened, where Woodstock went back because he had to find his vitamins, and Cropsy's watching him, and again nothing happens.
I was like, this is prime scene. Like they could have shoved him into the trunk and pushed him under the bed or something, like, and no one would find him because the next day they're going on the canoe trip. And I don't know, maybe I can't remember which kid that was. Was that Woodstock, you said?
Woodstock is the one that went back, yes.
Okay, yeah, he forgot his vitamin E. Or something. I
tuned out because I can only take so much of Jason Alexander talking about Woodstock having to masturbate. That's what I started to check out.
That was like all Porky's. That was like Porky's meets Friday the 13th. Yeah, 13th, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have it written right here. Woodstock returns to cabin to retrieve his vitamin E. Electricity is off. Him.
Yeah.
Okay. Todd tells campers about. Okay. So now I guess my next note is that so now all the upperclassmen are on their trip. I guess they've started. Yeah. Okay. So they've started.
We had the canoe trip complete with banjo music. You know what I mean? So I thought we went from Friday the 13th to Deliverance as they're canoeing down to their campsite. But yes, and then we get the campfire tale. Go right ahead.
All right. So Todd tells a camper about Cropsy as a campfire story. As Eddie, dressed in bloody costume, tries to scare them. Now, here's where I got a little suspicious.
Okay.
Wasn't really sure because earlier Todd did tell Alfred, "Hey, look, I was not once like you, but I once caused trouble and I got sent home." And and Alfred was like, "Oh, you did?" So I was like, he got sent home, but I'm like, well, I would assume if he was one of the kids that lit Cropsy on fire, that he would get more than sent home.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
Yeah.
I guess because nothing was ever found. So I guess no crime took place. So anyway, yeah. So he tells the story like, oh, in the camp across the lake, they had this guy, blah, 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 a bunch of kids, did a practical joke and he caught on fire and blah, blah, blah. His body was never found. And rumor has it, tale says he's out there watching us and killing. And I was like, how true how correct you are. And you didn't even know it yet. So, Next we have Eddie and Karen. Eddie keeps trying to get Karen to hook up with him, and it's not happening. She keeps saying no. So they decide to skinny dip. And while they're out there skinny dipping, she still puts Eddie in the friend zone. And Eddie, I've had enough of this, blah, blah, blah. I might as well just stay in the cold water type of thing. And he goes and swims away. And Karen decides to get dressed. And of course, Cropsy has taken her clothes.
and he significantly spread them apart. Like, her socks are here, her pants are here, her blouse is here, type of thing, and she's got to slowly get dressed. And then finally, from 12 minutes to 49 minutes into the film, Melissa, we have our second death, where Karen is killed with more garden shears. And it was a decent kill. It was a little dark for me, but it was pretty decent. And I'm glad that now we're finally getting the ball rolling when it comes to the slasher movie. People are finally starting to get slashed.
Right. Correct. Now, as a female.
Yes.
When I was listening to this, I think one of the earlier films we talked about, someone said, "Oh, it's interesting to have a female's perspective on how we saw things differently."
Yeah.
So in this film, even though I was only 11, but it really also shows you the sign of the times. I don't know if Weinstein was creating the times or if he was writing as the times were taking place. Like, so when Eddie and Karen are in the water and he starts off, come over here, I'll keep you warm. And I was like, oh, what a nice guy, and then he gets super aggressive with her and she continues to say no. And then he becomes a total asshole and basically like kicks her out of the lake.
Yeah.
Go then.
Yeah.
And yells and, he Weinsteins. Acts like a Weinstein, I'm sure. She's not getting another part in a movie. That's for dang sure.
No more scripts.
No more scripts. That's the end of her job. She's fired. And again, I'm just like wondering, like, is he, when he was writing this, is what we see on screen really?
It's weird when you look at this in hindsight sometimes,
Right? Yeah. Well, hindsight's 2020. All the signs were there. All right, so yeah, leaving Eddie in the water, which is funny. Eddie, water, Eddie. Just as she finds all of her clothes, like she just reaches her last item of clothing, and then he kills her. And and I thought for sure, okay, she's gonna scream. He's gonna get out of the water, and he's gonna find her, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, she's dead!" But no. Cut to the next morning.
Yep. Next morning, Karen is missing, and Eddie, of course, is questioned because they were, they're a couple. They're last seen together, and then as he's being questioned, Eddie and Todd and what is her name again? The woman, Michelle. They notice that the canoes are missing, and obviously, I wrote this down. Jizzer. Now it's not Glazer. Jizzer obviously blames Alfred, and that's just a simple scene because next we cut to Jizzer trying to get laid with Sally, and she's just keeps telling him no, I don't want to do it. Blah blah blah. The same situation we just had, with Karen and Eddie. And who do we have perving over it all again? We have Alfred watching.
Right. I was surprised they didn't show him with the hand motion. Obviously,
I was waiting. I was surprised his hand wasn't at least in his pocket. You know what I mean?
But to jump back a little bit, so while the counselors are questioning Eddie, he does sort of own up to his nasty behavior the night before, and so they assume that Karen decided to take a canoe and go back to camp because
she was given permission if something went bad.
Yeah, because the guy who runs the camp told them before they left that if there's any problems, you're free to come back. So anyway, so now they're just thinking that Karen went back and in her haste, she accidentally or negligently happened to unleash all the canoes instead of just the one canoe that she would have needed to get back to home base. So okay, blah blah blah. Glazer accuses Alpha campers. Okay, so then they split up. Now this is where it's going to get interesting because in all slasher films you need the group to split up.
See, you're learning.
I say that much. I know.
Yes, you're learning. You're learning the tropes. Good for you. and they decide to build a raft to go back to camp and send help, get more canoes to bring back. They put this raft together, and now, Melissa, we finally make up for the 49 minutes of nothing happening because they see a canoe in the distance, and they believe that Karen could be in there. And as they go look, it is not Karen, but what we have now is Cropsy in full glory. We still don't get to see what he looks like, but in full glory, and he takes out almost everybody on the raft. Now, there was a lot. Well, go ahead.
There were 5 people on the raft. Like, so out of the whole group, they split up. One group stayed, or after they split up, they came back together to build the raft. Half the group took the raft because apparently there wasn't enough wood in the forest to build 2 rafts. So,
of course not.
So I would have taken that milk jug that one girl found and held that as like my buoy or something to swim back. But no, it got tossed back into the water. Anyway, so five campers go on the raft in order to paddle back to the main camp and I guess send help. Or one of them was going to paddle back and get the rest. I wasn't really quite clear.
I think they went back to camp because they were going to tell the head chief or whatever, head guy, what was going on, and then they were going to take canoes back to go get the rest of, like, because Jason Alexander's still there, Holly Hunter's still there, obviously Michelle and Todd are still there, type of thing. So I think they were going to do that. But Cropsy shows up, and Melissa, as you're now getting used to the gore when it comes to slasher films, horror movies in general, because again, we started with The Substance, and we've seen some bloody stuff with Train to Busan, and even Dr. Giggles. We always go back to Dr. Giggles. This is the scene. This raft scene is what this movie is known for. And it was hard. I was telling you, hard to find pictures that I didn't want to put ones that were too violent on the YouTube stream and us get flagged or whatever. But we have what is his name? Eddie is stabbed in the throat. We have Fisher Stevens, Woodstock, all those masturbation jokes that Jason Alexander made about him. Of course, he gets all of his fingers chopped off.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, why the fingers? Like,
I'm just assuming.
The fingers. Okay, go ahead.
And then I added this, I don't even remember her name because a lot of them were background characters. This is just her covered in, I'm assuming, Woodstock's blood after everyone else has been slashed. And I think hers was the best effect because some of these Savini's great, but some of them you can kind of tell, like, that is a fake hand in front of Woodstock when his fingers fly off, or you can see
Saturday Night Live skit.
Yes. What it looked like. Or you can see the part where the neck, where's the fake neck on Eddie. But this girl here, her death where she gets kind of slashed across the forehead, I think was a really brutal one, and I think it looked pretty realistic. So this is the cleanest scene picture from that scene. But as someone who's now getting used to gore, Melissa, how were you handling this scene? Were you laughing at it because you said it was a Saturday Night Live sketch, or what were your thoughts when you were watching all the chaos go down?
I think I was laughing at it, and I wish I could. I was texting my client at the same time, because I was at her house with her dog, and she's traveling back home. Anyway, so I was texting her, letting her know that I'm going to be watching this film at her house, and
for some reason, why you see in your watch history, the burning is in your Tubi history, yeah.
And so, right. Well, no, I've dog sat for her before on a Sunday, and I've told her, I've said, I got my podcast, and so tonight when I said, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go here, go here, go here, and then I'm going to come back to your house, and then I'm going to go there again, and then I'm going to go back to my house because tonight's the podcast. And so she was like, "Oh, what silly horror movie are you going to be talking about tonight?"
Uh-oh.
And so we were going back and forth about it. She's like, "I'd never heard of that," and she, I said, "Well, I chose it because Jason Alexander's in it, so at least there's someone in it that is recognizable, known for comedy, that will help relieve the just whatever's happening on screen." And I said her dog Ginger was supposed to be protecting me. So in actuality, I was laughing so hard, I actually rewound the movie and I recorded that part and I sent it to her, and she was like, excellent slaughter. excellent slaughter. And
good for her.
Anyway, yeah. So I was like, it was quite efficient, because I was like, suddenly it jumped from only 2 to we got 5 in one scene. Holy shit! Now we're moving.
Now it's starting to get good. And lucky her, you didn't rewind into to Jason Alexander's bare ass and share that with her. She rather got the blood and guts. So speaking of bare ass, we're now Glazer and Sally are having sex for like all of 10 seconds. Sally literally looks at him and says, "That's all," and then she says something else, and he has to go into the woods, I think, to go take a piss or something. But go ahead.
Well, like any douchebag, the whole time he's hitting on her hard. He keeps saying, "Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be hot. You're going to love it," and blah 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 blah. And then when she finally gives in to him after so many no, and he finally gets his way, it was like 30 seconds. She's like, "That's it," and then it was like, oh boy, here we go, guy's gonna have a complex now. So, but I was, if it was me, I don't know, she tried to soothe him, comfort him by agreeing to stay with him in the sleeping bag away from the other campers overnight, and I don't know, cuddle, but try again, I don't know. Hey, and then he was,
it could have been worse, Melissa. This could have been our third movie where we had a woman screaming, "You're the king." You know what I mean? Because I know how much that you hated that. And what was it, Dr. Giggles and Halloween? So
God. Hey, stop. Okay, I'm losing my train of thought here. Oh, so she wants to play. She wants to play, and the other one doesn't. Okay, so Jizzer goes back and he says, "Well, I'm gonna sneak back to camp and grab some matches so that I can light a fire and we can stay warm, because clearly he's too cold to keep her warm." All right. So wait.
No, you're right. He goes back to the campsite. He gets some matches, and this is where, of course, the only one still there is Alfred. Alfred watches.
I was going back to notes that I didn't see. So
yeah, go ahead.
Really quick, I wrote, they find Greek canoe, and then I put in parentheses, I bet Karen is in it, parentheses. And then my next note was, I was very wrong. R.I.P. 5 campers. And then I said the finger slices, forehead. Oh my God. Okay. Counselor's making it up. Okay. Blazer. Sally gets sliced. Yes. So after Glazer goes to get the matches to keep her warm, surprise, she gets sliced. I was betting, if I was a betting person, I was betting he was going to go first. That, and then she was going to go look for him, and then she was going to get it. But again, I was wrong.
And this is where, because he goes and gets the matches to set the fire. Alfred's there because he doesn't want to go out and do anything. And he wakes up, watches him, and follows Jizzer back to Sally. And this is where Cropsy walks out. He's trying to push the garden shears onto her. She is holding the garden shears. Now, this is making me think that either Cropsy is very, very weak or Sally is very, very strong, because she is holding off this man for a good 10, 15 seconds until she's taken out off screen.
Right. I was kind of like, oh, is she going to survive? Because someone bloody is going to have to run back to camp and go, oh my God, I almost got killed. But no, I was wrong, because we had a pervy witness named Alfred, because I just don't get it with him. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it's never really clear. Like, who's he perving after? Her?
Well, see, again, that's the thing. Like, we're supposed to get behind Alfred. You know what I mean? He's, I guess, out of this huge group of people, he's the one we're supposed to focus on. Are we supposed to have sympathy for him because he's picked on all the time? And I just can't get behind him because he's always fucking peeping on these girls and just being that fucking weirdo. So I'm like, I know what we're supposed to do. He's not like a dangerous perv or anything like that, or doesn't seem like one, but it's just like, I'm still like, I can't get behind this dude. Like, I don't care what happens to him, if anything happens to him.
I would have rather him been a tattletale. Like, he's the rule follower, and so that he's following Glazer to see where he's going so that he can go back to camp and tell the counselors, hey, I just saw Glazer going off and, you know, taking Sally, and she's saying no, you know, or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so of course he comes back. So, so Glazer comes back, and Perv Boy is following him. And, you know, and we just see Sally in a sleeping bag. And again, it's so dark, you can't really see any details.
Right.
So Sally's in the sleeping bag, and, you know, he's slowly pulling the sleeping bag down. And we don't even really see where she got.
Yeah, it's very dark. I'm assuming the neck. That's just, I'm just going to assume. She either stabbed in the chest, or her throat was slit. I don't know.
Like, as he was pulling the sleeping bag down, I was like, her makeup looks really good. Like, I love her eye makeup looks really nice, you know? So, anyway, so of course she's dead. We find out. Glazer runs, and then not very far, and then that's where Mr. Shears makes an appearance, and the Halloween thing happens. I was like, oh, so yeah, there we go.
So go ahead.
It almost seemed like he was going to survive a little bit, because he hung on, literally.
Good Lord.
He hung on for quite a while before
Cropsy.
He died.
Yeah, Cropsy took him up. And you know what? I got to give credit where credit's due. As much as we were kind of, you know, just having fun with the raft scene, you know, I thought this effect was really well done, because it's well lit, so we can see what's going on. I liked, like Noel says right here, he did put up a struggle a bit, and I like how you see, you know, it's gory, but not overly gory. It's not like gratuitous just for the sake of being gory. And I didn't even think of Halloween until you threw that out there. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good kill in the movie overall. So, and then Alfred runs away, tells Todd, and Todd is knocked out. There's like the Cropsy swings the shears at Todd, and like, he doesn't like cut his head open, but he cuts him a little bit. Todd falls, I think, on a log, and he's knocked out, type of thing.
I like this. Barb says the dog has notes. Yes. Yes, you do. You have a lot to say back there. Okay, yeah. So Alfred runs and hides again.
Yep.
And Todd lives. Surprise, surprise. He slowly comes to. And then my next note is the bloody raft returns.
Yep.
With the dismembered bodies, but we don't know that they're just. We just see the raft returning slowly, and the other half of the campers that you know, including the two counselors. Well, actually, Todd is out. Okay, so Todd and Alfred are on one side of the lake, and the rest of the campers on the other side of the lake. Correct. So the bigger group has no idea of anything that's taken place, because Todd was the only one that had been woken up by Alfred while the rest slept. Anyway, so then by the time, so Michelle decides to swim out to the raft to see what the holdup is, like what's going on with the raft. Why is it slowly drifting back, and no one's in charge of it? They think it's a practical joke again or something. Anyway, so just as she swims out, this scene was kind of interesting. Just as she swims out, an arm. I don't know what it is about about limbs, detached from their body, they just make me laugh. Because the last movie had the same problem. It made me laugh. The Return of the Living Dead was
yes. The one arm that grabbed on Ernie's leg.
Yes. Anyway, so Michelle gets touched by a disembodied arm, and then as she's struggling with that, poor Woodstock, I don't know how he ended up in the water, but suddenly he comes bouncing out, so he's like a buoy.
A buoy.
He's bouncing in the water like this, and the hand and the arm is over here, and then, anyway, so I guess she makes it back. I don't remember, but just around that time is when Todd reemerges on the other side of the lake, and he instructs all of those traumatized teenagers, to get on the bloody raft that had all of their dead friends on it and paddle back to main camp so that they can get help. In the meantime, Todd still is in pursuit of Alfred because, everyone comes back home. You don't leave any campers out, just like the military.
Even the perverts, they have to come home.
Right, they have to come home. So Todd is in hot pursuit of Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
I think Todd has an axe at this time.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
So
don't remember where he got it. I don't care. I'm not going to question it,
Right, yeah. So I wrote, will Alfred survive the cat and mouse with Cropsy? All right. Oh, so I wrote, surviving campers get on the raft of death to paddle for help. Alfred gets grabbed and gagged. Alfred gets grabbed and gagged while Todd looks for him with axe in hand. Your turn, sir.
Okay, well, there isn't that much to it. Alfred is.
We're approaching the ending.
There just happens to be a mine shaft in the middle of the woods, and Alfred is tied up to the wall of the mine shaft. The garden shears. Now you got to remember this: the garden shears are stabbed in the wood around basically Alfred's bicep, so he can't. If he struggles, he'll get sliced, type of thing. But you got to remember that the garden shears are there. And Cropsy, just for the hell of it, because why not, is now walking around unmasked with a flamethrower, looking for Todd. And what did you think, Melissa, when you finally got a good look at Cropsy's face? Did he look like that Big Mac overcooked or whatever that orderly said?
Well, I wrote, "Oi, that face! Oi, that face!" I thought it was not what I expected at all. I would have preferred a little bit more of, the look from Hellraiser,
Mm-hmm.
the skeleton with, a little bit of muscle and flesh
Mm-hmm.
on it. I think that's more of what I was expecting.
Or at least what his arm looked like in the hospital. You know what I mean?
I mean, because he did have that fashionable hat on. In the prostitute scene, and
Mm-hmm.
so when I saw this face, I was like, there's no damn way that hat fit on that head. What the hell? What is this? I felt like they stole the look from the Elephant Man.
I am not an animal. I am a human being. So yeah, then basically we're literally at the end of the movie. What is her? I can't always keep forgetting her fucking name. Michelle, thank you.
I kept forgetting her name too. So.
she goes back to the campsite. She gets in a canoe or on a raft, or somehow she goes back there. She gets all the kids. Oh, that's right. They're on the raft of corpses. Now, did they throw the corpses in the water? Are they on the beach somewhere? I don't know. But they make it back. She's telling the guy in charge what happened. They're going back to go find Alfred. They're trying to call the cops.
The leader of the camp thinks she's playing a joke.
That's
and then
right.
She's like, look at the kids, and they're all being pulled off the raft, hugging. Oh,
do they look like they're joking? Yeah.
Yeah, that was another. Let's see. When sorry, it's not funny, but when the friends found the dismembered friends, when the living friends found their dismembered friends on the raft, and they cut to them and they were all on shore and they were all like hugging like the legs, like the littler ones were hugging, but like Tiger was hugging the legs of, you know, whoever was taller than her. Anyway, that was kind of cute. It was but anyway, so it was like a continuation of that. She's like, look at those kids, look how scared they are. So anyway, he's like, okay, I guess she is telling the truth. So yeah, they get to outboard the boat with the motor on it, and somewhere in that time, I don't know how, but the police were called. Off screen, the police were called, and she says, and she tells Guy, the police are on their way. They're coming by helicopter.
Correct. Yes, because there is a scene where she waves down the helicopter. So basically, that's pretty much it. We're now in the final maybe 5 minutes. I wrote Todd to the rescue, and he's tripping a lot in the dark. He almost gets run over by a mine cart because why not? We got to add another 30 seconds into this movie.
My Bloody Valentine. We got to do some My Bloody Valentine in there.
Yep. And then what do we have? Oh, so there is this very mini fight between Cropsy and Todd. Alfred frees himself, and like I told people to remember that the shears are there, he stabs Cropsy in the back with the garden shears. Cropsy falls down, but Melissa, is Cropsy dead from that? Of course not. He gets up, and then God, he's got to be dead now. Todd swings the axe, buries it in his forehead, buries it in his face, pinning him to one of the wooden beams. And just for good measure, because he was burnt at the beginning of the movie, Alfred picks up.
Oh, yeah.
Alfred picks up because now Alfred's a man. You know what I mean? He's not picked on anymore. He's not going to take it anymore. He picks up the torch, the flamethrower, sets Cropsy on fire. They basically walk out hand in hand. Everything's fine. And then we end on another campfire story all about Cropsy. And then the guy telling the story tries to scare us by looking directly in the camera and saying we're dead. And that's the end of the movie.
And I wrote, fiend, fiend, fiend. What was it? So it was a little, God, I just had a thought. Gosh darn it. Shoot, I forgot. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So this kind of a little bit reminded me a little bit of like Naked and Afraid, but with human death, because Naked and Afraid, you have to go and find things that have washed up on shore, like milk jugs, things that can make a raft. So they made the raft. And then at the end, you get rescued by the helicopter. And so it was like Naked and Afraid and Porky's and Halloween and Friday the 13th had a baby. You get the burning.
You throw a little bit of My Bloody Valentine in there with the mine shaft just for the hell of it.
Right.
And you get the burning. So, Melissa, oh boy, here we go. Score and favorite scene, but when you give the score, this is the question you got to answer. How mad are you at Jason Alexander for being the reason we watched The Burning? What is your score for 1981's cult classic?
I was a little disappointed he wasn't in any of the slasher scenes. He didn't get slashed, right?
Nope, not at all.
Not a drop of blood touched that guy.
No, he didn't get injured at all. That's it.
So, I was kind of mad. A little bit, but Rat, whatever his name is from Fast Times,
Alfred.
Having him in it. Yeah, Alfred. Having him in it. What the heck is that? It looks like there's something behind me. What?
It does. It looks like there's a little light right behind you.
That.
Maybe it's Alfred peering through the window.
Oh, it's the reflection of the ring light on the window of the next room.
She's easily distracted, people. We love her to death.
That is weird. Okay. Yeah, squirrel.
Oh, a blue car. Yes. Okay. Score and favorite scene, Miss Melissa Hill.
All right. I gave it a -1 of oi that head.
Oh God.
so I gave it a -1 head. Cropsy head.
Cropsy face. Another -1 Cropsy heads.
Yeah. I was gonna go with green canoe, but I was like, that's too obvious. So
favorite scene? Could you find a favorite scene?
I guess the favorite scene. Well, there was a couple. All right. When the two when Jizz Master Jay got his comeuppance, I wasn't disappointed.
Okay.
But as far as entertainment wise, I think my favorite scene was when the raft came back and all the kids were crying and holding on to the legs.
It wasn't the raft scene where everyone was murdered. It was the trauma that followed that Melissa found funny. Good Lord.
Trauma makes me laugh.
I guess so. My favorite scene is one that you just mentioned, Glazer or Jizzmaster Zero's death. I liked it because the you can actually see the death. It wasn't as cartoony as the raft scene. I did like how he put up a little bit of a struggle. And again, an asshole got his comeuppance. So it was good to see him taken out. I was a little bit more kind. I didn't hate this movie. The problem is it's just I found it really boring. There's a lot of nothing happening for between 12 minutes to 49 minutes. No one's dying. I don't care about the characters at all. So I gave it 2 literal minutes of Holly Hunter's screen time out of 5 for The Burning, because she's in there, you got to watch her. But Holly Hunter, you didn't. Okay, the one there's she's in there. She's in the scene where they're all asleep in the cabin. She's on one of the beds above. I think she's above Tiger. When Jizzer gets pushed in the water, she's one of the girls in the bathing suits. And then I think in your favorite scene where Tiger's hugging someone's leg, we cut to Holly Hunter consoling another camper. So she's and she has 2 lines. They're both yelling for Todd, but yeah, she's in there. So
with an accent?
You can't really hear her. You can't hear her, but she's there. So 2 minutes of Holly Hunter screen time out of 5.
Wow.
Didn't hate this movie, but I just don't really understand the hype behind it. One scene of everyone dying on a raft, in my opinion, doesn't make an entertaining movie. But if you love it, God bless you. The movies are like taste buds. What's bitter to us can be nice and sweet to you. So that was The Burning. And Melissa, I told you that you haven't technically picked one in a long time, but you also said you kind of liked how I was giving you ways to choose. Now, what we're going to do is, once again, we tell everybody we appreciate the support. And if you give us a positive review on Facebook or a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and send us a written review as well, we will let you pick something from our Coming Soon folder on Facebook, and we will push that to the front. We've been kind of putting that on the back burner. Uh-oh, what happened? Did one of the dogs sneeze on you?
No, she came back with a very, very muddy face.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do out there? It's 9 p.m. Anyway, she's so proud of herself. It's the little one.
Oh yeah, just
buried something.
Good luck. Have fun finding out what she buried.
Right. Anyway, go ahead.
So, what we were saying is we will let you pick from the Coming Soon folder, and we'll push that up to the front. We've actually been we fell off the bike on that, so we're going to get these out of the way now because we do want to show our appreciation, and we don't want to just say we're just saying that for good reviews. So, Melissa, we have 4 either 5-star reviews on Apple, or we have positive reviews on Facebook. We've already done one for Gina. lovely Gina over in the UK. She was Dr. Giggles.
Okay.
Barb, Fear the Talking Heads, since she did both for us, she did we did Valley Girl for her, and we did Cabin in the Woods for her.
Okay.
So now we have 4 that we're going to do, and I'm not going to name names, so that way we prove that we're not doing favoritism. So Melissa, out of these 4, I'm going to give you a little description, and you can tell me what strikes your fancy. So one of them, an anthology. You know what an anthology is? Kind of like trilogy of terror, multiple stories in one movie.
Okay.
So we have an anthology that deals with zombies, meteors, monsters, cockroaches, and an evil Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun.
Okay.
We have one of the original Cabin in the Woods movies where you read from an evil book. So from the 80s, you know, what Cabin in the Woods was a parody of. We have one of those.
Oh, okay.
We have a movie that was one of Clint Eastwood's first on-screen appearances. You might know what that one is. And then we have one where the director, after he passed, was awarded a Golden Turkey Award for the honor of being the worst director of all time.
Would that be Ed Wood? Or
Yes, that is Ed Wood. So it'll be an Ed Wood film.
Stop it.
Now we're going to do all 4 of these eventually anyway to show our appreciation, but the next one is going to be one you picked due to those descriptions. Do you need anything reread?
Well, okay. So I'm going to think this out like they do on TV game shows. I've already seen a drug-addicted Leslie Nielsen on Little House on the Prairie, so I don't need to see an evil one.
Okay, we'll put that one on the back burner. So, and I'm not going to, and the ones you don't pick, like I said, they're still going to be moving forward, but I will not tell you what they are until they're chosen.
The Clint Eastwood one, like I know he appears at the end and blows something up, but I can't remember what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a black and white film. Okay.
Correct.
And what was the 4th one?
Okay, so you got the Clint Eastwood one. We have one of the original Cabin in the Woods, read from an evil book movie. And then we have
evil Leslie Nielsen.
Nope, that's the one you decided not to choose.
That's the one I want. That's the one I want.
One of the original Cabin in the Woods, read from an evil book movie. That's the one you want.
Yes.
Okay, Melissa.
Oh God.
What? No, this is one I really enjoy. This is not The Burning. Now, now I will say this: be prepared, because you said during the Return of the Living Dead movie or stream, the dogs had a little bit of problems with the screaming. Yeah. So just be prepared. There is a lot of that in this film. No, not dogs, but the main character there will be a lot of screaming. So I don't know if that's going to affect them. You know what I mean when you watch the film?
Oh.
Okay. Makes sense. We will be watching Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
Isn't that 1987? This was a request. I haven't talked to them in a long time. Cigar and Donut Killers. We talked to them on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it'll be Evil Dead 2 from 1987.
1987. Now, aren't those kind of funny?
The first one is in our list. The good thing about Evil Dead 2 is, since you haven't seen the first one, there is a complete recap in the very beginning of Evil Dead 2. So you don't have to watch the first one to watch this one. This one is where it starts to go the slapstick route. There is a lot of, blood and guts and gore, but it's very slapsticking. The third one is a complete horror comedy. But yes.
Okay.
So we will be watching Evil Dead 2, 1987, with Bruce Campbell as the
Campbell. That's his name.
Yes, the iconic character known as Ash, fighting off the Deadites, and that'll be with us, God willing, in 2 weeks. So that's it. That'll cross that off the list, and then Evil Leslie Nielsen is still there. He'll be coming back soon, but as of right now, this will be episode 23, Evil Dead 2.
Okay. Posey has something to say about it. Okay.
Yes, you wanted to say something before we ended this with our usual adopt, don't shop. You wanted to say something, so please, floor is yours.
Okay, so I don't know how many people follow me on Instagram, but there's a situation. This is real life. There's a situation in California that has taken place in near Pacific Palisades and on the beach area. 2 dogs were found, well taken care of, with their harnesses on, and their owner's belongings were in the women's bathroom. There was like there was a little bag of dog food. There was granola bar. There was a wet swimsuit, all this stuff. So basically, someone found these 2 dogs, and they're trying to find out what has happened to the owner, which is a woman. And so there's reason to believe that she's been she's been taken. We don't know. Some people thought maybe it was ice or whatever. But anyway, so the gentleman who found the 2 dogs has been posting daily updates on all these little clues that they found, because the police aren't investigating because there's no official missing persons thing. Right. And there was a journal amongst her belongings, but the next day when the guy who found the dogs went back to the beach, he was told that the maintenance crew threw everything out because the only thing that was in the bag was rotten food, which isn't true. So there's a lot of suspect, activity happening here. Stories aren't lining up. Anyway, this gentleman, his Instagram account is CEO Paolo Santo. So it's CEO PAOLO SANTO. CEO Paolo Santo. And I've been posting his updates in my stories. So anyway, they're posting photos of the dogs to see if anybody recognizes the dogs, so that they can help determine who the owner is, and how she's gone missing. Apparently the last update that he posted was that they were taking the dogs driving around the area where they were found, and when they were driving through this one particular canyon, I think it's called Ladero Canyon, the dogs popped up, like they were sleeping in the back seat of the car, and then they popped up like, oh, this is a place we've been before. When he initially found the dogs, when he went back, like, I guess he found them on July 9th. And when he went back with the dogs to the beach a few days later, the dogs were sniffing around, and they really stuck to the shower area, the outdoor shower area, and the men's bathroom. So anyway, so they're really concerned. Everyone's really concerned about this woman. She's been abducted. I'm concerned that she's been sex trafficked or whatever. But anyway, so this man, CEO Paolo Santo, has been reading everyone's messages and suggestions and whatever. The one regret he has is that he didn't read the journal, because there was a journal in the bag. He didn't read the journal because he didn't want to invade this woman's privacy, thinking that he was going to, return the dog to the owner like the next day. And so when he found out that the maintenance people threw everything away, and they claimed that it was only rotten food, when there was a wet swimsuit, a journal, a granola bar, some green juice, from like Trader Joe's or whatever. It's just become really suspect. And of course, well, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, so if anyone is interested in following the story, who knows, maybe someone will recognize the dogs that could help, or maybe you have a suggestion. I suggested that he try to hire a private detective, which would then, also require a GoFundMe account for people to donate to the cost of that. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Wow. Well,
people could go check that out.
Yeah. And hopefully something positive comes from it. You can't always think negative. So I do hope something good comes from it. And And the good thing is, my YouTube channel doesn't have a lot of reach. You know what I mean? But hopefully, you know what? One of my subs could be in the area or could be watching the ongoing updates like you are on Instagram, or maybe honestly, because if we're growing on Apple and Spotify too, I'm going to upload the audio of that tomorrow when this is done rendering and everything. Maybe someone might listen to it and know what's going on. So fingers are crossed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if we can help, even just by bringing notice to the situation, that's,
or
that's
just
something.
making a suggestion, or
Yeah,
maybe someone out there is one of those people that can talk to pets.
you never know.
You never know. You
Yeah.
just never know. Maybe someone is a private investigator who would be willing to take on the job, or
That's true.
you just never know. So every little bit helps. But yeah. So anyone who, like I said, if anyone's been seeing my Instagram, that's kind of overtaken my Instagram stories the past few days, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. But yeah, it is very sad. It's scary, actually.
The world is a lot scarier than when we were growing up, Melissa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's no denying that, and I'm not gonna lie. As the father of a 14-year-old girl right now, it really does worry me at times.
Right.
So.
There are some witnesses who say, like, there's been this black Mercedes that has been kind of like going through that parking lot a lot lately. The maintenance people, of course, are suspect because their story isn't straight.
Yeah.
And then I think because I've been sharing this story, now my algorithm seems to be sex trafficking. So this other story that I shared today was about these automatic locks that have been found outside of women's public bathrooms, where women go in and someone can lock it with a remote control. They are illegal, and they're not being found on the men's bathrooms, and they're kind of like at the public gas stations. So they're warning women, before you go into a public bathroom at a gas station or a convenience store or whatever, look outside the door, and if there's like this little metal box that's up in the corner, go tell the manager, or call the police, and they'll come and remove it.
Wow. I didn't even know about that. So even if, I hate to say, if nothing positive comes from the first story you told, if this now helps women check the gas station bathrooms or whatever, that helps too. So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Be
I'm
more
glad you shared
vigilant.
that.
Anyway,
on a happy note, thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us for Watch What Now, episode 22, The Burning. Still don't get the hype behind this movie, but you know what? I had a fun time with you. Regardless, Melissa, it was always fun.
And thank you to everyone who stuck with us throughout the whole chit chat. And I'm sorry to end it on a downer, but it was, anyway.
But something positive may happen through that downer, right. So we'll look at it that way.
Oh yeah, I believe so too. It's a crazy world we live in, and you'd be surprised. People try to pit everyone against each other, and in reality, if you just left us all alone, we probably would all work well together.
Exactly. Yeah. People wonder why I don't leave my fucking house, because I just want to be left alone. But
anyway,
you got to go find out. Yeah, we got to get going. You got to find out who buried what in the backyard with all the mud. So with that, I am Eric. That is Melissa. We will see you, knock on wood, for 2 weeks for Evil Dead 2. Godspeed with that one, Melissa. So
okay, I've heard a lot about this one growing up. So yeah, okay.
So with that, thank you guys. Thank you to everybody that joined us, and God willing, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Peace
Cheers.
out.
Peace out.